Most of our lives feel like complete chaos nowadays. We go from one thing to the next, and a lot of times we don't even know what it is that we're doing. But I think that the worst part about our lives nowadays is that we don't really have any rules for life. Sometimes it can be hard to tell what is right or wrong, and rules can really help with that. So in this video, I will tell you about Jordan Peterson's 12 rules for life, and I believe that if we all follow these rules, we will have a much better and sorted out life. Hey guys, welcome back to Inside Junkie, and if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and click that bell notification icon so you don't miss any videos. Now, Jordan Peterson is a clinical psychologist, and he has a lot of clinical experience in dealing with people and helping them fix their problems. And if you have seen any of his videos on YouTube or the numerous podcasts that he has done, you would know that he is an extremely intelligent and capable man, and his ideas are truly life-changing for those who pay attention to him. So in this video, I'll give you a brief overview of his 12 rules for life, and I highly recommend you buy his book after watching this video. I'll leave a link in the description below. So rule number 1 is stand up straight with your shoulders back. This rule is pretty straightforward, and there have been multiple studies that have shown that just correcting your posture increases your confidence and self-esteem. But Jordan Peterson gives us a pretty interesting take on this idea. He talks about lobsters and how when they win in a fight, they stretch out and make themselves look bigger, and a chemical called serotonin is released in their body. When they lose a fight, they become smaller and their serotonin levels go down. So lobsters pretty much put themselves in a hierarchy, and the lobster that wins most of the fights and has the best posture becomes the top lobster, and the lobster with the worst posture becomes the bottom lobster. Now of course, our society isn't as simple as lobsters, but some of the same brain circuits that govern the lobster's behavior also govern our behaviors. This means that if you stand up straight with your shoulders back, you will feel better, and in a way you will feel like the top lobster. Other people will treat you in a better way, and of course your self-esteem will also increase. Rule number 2 is to treat yourself like you would someone you are responsible for helping. In my opinion, if you pay attention to this rule closely, it can change your life. Basically, what usually happens is that we are very kind to the people we love, and we do whatever it is necessary to keep them happy. For example, if you love your children, you will not let them eat too much junk food. Or if you love your husband or wife, you might force them to exercise even if they don't want to, just so they keep their heart healthy. But most of us are not that kind with ourselves. Have you ever seen how far a guy or a girl goes to just impress someone that they like? People move mountains for the people that they love, and yet they treat themselves very poorly. Imagine how different your life would look if you treated yourself with the same amount of love. And this doesn't mean only doing things to please yourself. This also means doing things that you know that are good for you. If you love someone and they need to lose weight, you would stop them from eating a donut. Well, if you love yourself and you're trying to lose weight, you should also stop yourself from eating a donut. Rule number 3 is make friends with people who want the best for you. This is something that is very obvious, but most of us get wrong. The people you surround yourself with will determine how you feel about yourself. If you have toxic friends, people who don't want the best for you, then you're not going to go very far. A good example of bad friends is that when you accomplish something big, let's say you get a promotion at work, and you go to your friends to tell them about it, instead of being happy for you, they say something like, "Oh, it's not like you're making that much money anyway." Or they'll say something like, "Well, that won't really change your life." You should surround yourself with people who genuinely want the best for you. And this means that even if you're doing something wrong, they'll correct you, and if you're winning in life and doing something right, they'll be happy for you. Rule number 4 is compare yourself with who you were yesterday and not with who someone else is today. Most of us get caught up in comparing ourselves with other people, and as a result of this, we are never happy. We think, "Oh, that guy got better grades than me," or "Oh, look, this guy is more intelligent than me," or "This guy makes more money than me." You have to realize there has never been a human being on earth exactly the same as you. Every single human being has had a different life. So then how can you expect to have the same outcome as them, and how can you compare yourself to them? The only person you should compare yourself to is the person who you were yesterday. If you are always improving and getting even slightly better than you were yesterday, then you are on the right track. And by the way, if you love learning about ways to improve yourself, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Rule number 5 is do not let your children do anything that makes you dislike them. Now this is a rule for parents, and since I'm not a parent, I won't get much into this. All Jordan talks about in this rule is the fact that you should know how to parent your children in an effective way and make sure that you don't let them do anything that makes you not like them. If you don't like the fact that your child starts screaming if he doesn't have his iPad, talk to him about it, teach him how to be disciplined. Now, I cannot give you parenting advice, but all Jordan says is that you should not let this slide, because if there is something that makes you not like them, then you can be very sure that the same things are going to be the things that are going to bother other people, and that can cause a lot of problems for your children. Rule number 6 is set your house in perfect order before you criticize the world. Oh man, our society needs this rule right now. All of us are the first people to criticize the government, the institutions, for all of our life's problems. I had a friend who would go on and on about how the world was unjust to her. She would tell me about all the ways in which people were bad and about how this world was just a bad place. But think about it this way. What gives you the right to criticize the world for ruining your life? If you haven't done everything you can to fix your life, if you haven't put in the effort to make your life better, then how can you expect the world to fix everything for you? If you don't like your life right now, ask yourself, what is it that you can do on your own that can make your life better? Stop thinking you're better than everyone else in this world and actually try to make a difference in your own life. At least try to do it for a week, a month, before you say something bad about the world. Rule number 7, pursue what is meaningful, not what is expedient. This is something that most of us are guilty of. We usually try to do the easy thing, the thing that will give us the quickest results. We try to take the work that makes us the most money, that gets us the most amount of fame, etc. But our brains are wired for meaning. Like Viktor Frankl says in the book Man's Search for Meaning, our brains are meaning-making machines. All the money in the world isn't going to help you if your life is meaningless. So always strive to do things which are meaningful. Think more long-term instead of just looking for short-term gratification. Rule number 8, tell the truth, or at least don't lie. A society works best when everyone is honest with each other. If you're in a relationship and you and your partner don't tell the truth to each other, then that relationship is basically meaningless. Trust is very important in human society. When I go out of my house, I trust that everyone out there won't try to kill me, and that's how I'm able to feel safe and continue to be a productive member of society. It is all of our duties to tell the truth as much as possible, and sometimes when the situation is more complicated than that, at least try not to lie. Rule number 9, assume that the person you're listening to might know something you don't. What you don't know is more important than what you do know. Most of us walk around thinking that we know everything we need to, but this is a surefire way to stop learning. With the amount of knowledge that exists in this world, there is no way that you can know everything. So whenever you're talking to someone, assume that that person knows something you don't. This way you can have a real conversation with that person and actually learn something from them instead of always trying to defend your ideas. Rule number 10, be precise in your speech. The more precise you can make your speech, the more focused your thoughts are going to be. If you're not precise in the way you talk or communicate with people, or you're not able to make a point, then you're not going to be successful in society. The people who can make the best arguments and can present the best stories win, so you definitely need to learn how to be precise in your speech. Rule number 11, do not bother children when they are skateboarding. A lot of people try to stop children when they are playing, especially when they think that the game that they're playing is dangerous. Well, of course, you should stop children from doing something that is actually dangerous, but sometimes children try to do things that pushes their limits. It just might be that they're curious about it. When they all try to jump to see who jumps the highest, they're all pushing themselves, competing with each other, becoming better, and that spirit of pushing ourselves, doing something that might be slightly dangerous, is there amongst all of us. Don't try to stop that in other people. Learn to embrace it. That is where people learn to become extraordinary. And rule number 12 is pet a cat when you encounter one on the street. Now this rule is about enjoying the beauty of life. Sometimes there can be terrible tragedies in life and the suffering can get too much to bear. In those moments, you have to find beauty in the little things about life. If a dog wags its tail at you, play with him. Give him something to eat. Look at the happiness in the little animal's face and learn to be happy yourself. If you're going through rough times, shorten the time frame. Don't think about surviving an entire year. Think about making it through the next month or the next week or day or even the next hour. When you break it down into time frames that you can manage, you can get through things that you could never have imagined. This book is perhaps the most life-changing book you can ever read. I highly recommend it, and I highly recommend watching Jordan Peterson's lectures on YouTube. I leave a link to both in the description below. If you enjoy improving yourself, please do click the subscribe button, and if you like the video, then click the like button. Thanks for watching.